This is a HeadGum podcast.
Hello and welcome to The Complete Guide to Everything, a podcast about everything. I am one of your hosts, Tom.
And I'm Tim.
Tim, I accidentally, when I said like the first word or two, I think I was too close to the mic. My lips touched the mic.
Oh, no. Gross. You kissed the mic.
Well, and then I did think, have you ever smelled these microphones, Tim?
You always talk about how bad these microphones.
Actually, they're not.
No.
They're not bad.
I got a little case of the sniffles, so I got a bit of a stuffy nose. So
You're just using that as an excuse to keep sniffing your mic all episode. You're like, oh, actually, I kind of like the way it smells.
I don't like smelling things.
You know?
You get up
Tim,
close
I know a
enough to
guy who
something.
could take care of that for you.
You get up close enough to something.
Uh-huh.
Even something that smells good, you
Yeah.
get too close, it stops smelling good. It's too much.
I
Enough.
don't think that's true. I thought you were going to... So wait, your complaint about smelling is that if you get too close to something that smells good, it's too much?
Yeah, it no longer smells good.
Like what? Like flowers or something?
Yeah, flowers.
Flowers
foods.
smell good with food. When you get closer to these things, they smell better usually.
Well, no,
How
not if
close
you
are
get
you
too
talking?
close. Very close.
Oh, like touching?
Almost.
Oh, okay.
That's
I still think I've never had a food that I thought, that smells pretty good, but let me get in closer and then gone, oh.
yeah. That's why you shouldn't do it. That's why
I
I'm
don't
gonna,
think
hey,
that's a thing.
congratulations for not doing that, Tom.
Yeah.
You're not getting disgusted for no reason. Me, unfortunately, I can't help it.
I could just imagine you at like family dinner every night, like just throwing your knife and fork down, like, nope,
No,
dinner's ruined.
I'm
I smelled it too close.
It's not what family dinners.
I'm going
like
to
in my house.
Arby's.
No, well, that's gonna be the worst if you're telling me you get an Arby's roast beef sandwich.
Look, I'm not saying
You open that thing up and shove your schnoz in there.
Yeah.
You're not gonna barf.
I bet it's actually probably going to smell pretty good. I bet they put chemicals in like the roast beef
They
to make
do
it.
put chemicals in there. Of course they do. That's how they make it taste so good.
Yeah, but I think they use, the same things for smelling.
I don't know.
I do think, like, man, when I'm walking my dog, Ginger, especially now, because, like, we just had, like the worst kind of snow you can have where it's like oh, nice, like there's snow. And then it melts a little bit and then freezes.
Right.
So then it's
And
just
it was really cold here.
Yeah, now it's really cold. So there's just like ice everywhere. I mean, most people shovel. But even still, it's like, walking Ginger, there's...
You know what I did?
What?
I went to my parents' house and shoveled their walk.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a nice boy.
And you know what? I did their neighbors, too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, how much did you charge them, though?
Well, I charged my parents for the neighbors.
Okay.
It's like, you can settle up with
yeah. I'm familiar. You're a frequent abuser of the job's already done. I'm just telling you what it costs to do this kind of work.
Yeah.
I could put the snow back.
My parents got real mad because a man came to ask if they wanted their walk shoveled.
Yeah.
At 6:30 a.m.
Ooh, that's too early.
But he rang the doorbell, and they know this guy. He's shoveled them out in the past.
Okay.
And you know how everybody in suburbia has a freaking ring
doorbell? Yeah.
Yeah, so he rang the doorbell. My dad looked at his phone and was like, oh, I don't want to get up and talk to this guy. And the guy left.
Uh-huh.
But they were livid. And I was like, I don't know. This guy was going to do a thing.
6:30 in the morning. That's an early ring. Your
know.
parents are retired, Tim. I'm sure this guy knows that. He can't be thinking like, oh, maybe they want their walk shoveled to like go to work in the morning. It's like, no. They'll
We
be fine.
do other things, Tom.
Yeah,
we're
but
more than
not
just
like
our
7
jobs.
o'clock in the morning that they couldn't, relax for a minute, enjoy the snow a little bit.
All right. Look.
I
Fine.
don't know why
You always take my parents' side.
Yeah, I don't know why you're...
And it was annoying. I was staying over there, and it woke me up, too, so I didn't like it.
Yeah, I'm sure you were like, what the hell is this? Now,
my wife was up with our 3-year-old,
Yeah.
and they were the only ones, like, up.
Yeah.
And she was just like, there's a weird man at the door. Like, I'm not gonna, like, she got freaked out. So I guess this guy was wrong.
How much does he charge? Do you know that?
He came back later, and he was charging a lot.
Do you want to put a dollar amount out there? Or?
What? All right, you saw the amount of snow. I think it was like about 3 inches.
And now he's just shoveling the walkway that your parents have to the
walkway,
front door,
the sidewalk, and the
sidewalk,
the
public sidewalk in front of the house.
Yeah,
and the driveway.
Mm-hmm.
They got a pretty long driveway.
Mm-hmm.
I would say
there were 3 cars in the driveway, though, so that makes it a little easier.
$30.
I think my dad would have taken that deal.
Well, I'll know next time.
No, this man was charging 100 smackers.
What? $100? Tim, I'm gonna pass out. I can't believe that. That's the most shocking thing I've ever heard. $100?
I wasn't at the door. My dad was talking about the door, and I just heard my dad go, no, my son will do it.
Yeah, damn right for $100.
Yeah.
I
don't know. It's
I mean,
snow removal and egg prices are through the roof.
I mean, Tim, if it wasn't already so late at night, I would call your father to discuss this with him. But I know he doesn't like being woken up too early or too late.
Yeah.
That's insane. Because I thought you were going somewhere with it's he didn't want to like pay a guy to do it. He wanted to like pay a kid to do it or something.
Me.
You're not a kid. Did you did the driveway and everything too?
Yeah.
How long did it take you?
Not that long. It took me like maybe 25 minutes.
So this guy is saying his services are worth over $200 an hour.
I mean, he might have gone slower than me. I'm really good at shoveling, Tom, and I didn't do a great job.
I mean, I have no doubt he would have done a better job for $100. So they've paid him that price before.
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
His prices went up? Because of egg prices.
Yeah, probably. Because the guy
He's
he needed
buy
a
eggs
high-protein breakfast to fuel his shoveling.
Yeah.
And he's like, I had to make
Carton
myself
eggs cost $50. Yeah. What do you want from me?
I need my 12-egg omelet for the energy.
Wow.
Wait, what was your question?
Did he charge $100 last time?
Oh, I think it depends on the level of snowfall, right? Like,
yeah, but there wasn't that much snow that I can imagine him like charging less.
Maybe it was probably the most significant snow we've gotten in the last 3 years.
Oh yeah, but I'm just saying it was what, like 3 inches, 4 inches? Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, if you only had 2 inches, he'd probably charge you what, like $80?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if it's any rhyme or reason. I think he just goes by feel and, sees, I think he was trying to read my dad and he read him wrong.
Yeah. Oh, maybe that's why he rings on the doorbell so early. He's hoping to catch people like, yeah, sure. You can shovel.
Yeah, some guy in his nightcap. Like,
yeah. Hold with that little candle holder.
Exactly. Whatever, shut the door. The candle's going to blow out.
All right, Tim. This week, we're doing dummies.
Dummies.
And now, when we decided this topic, we didn't really like put I think I threw it out there and you were like, good. Yeah, okay, dummies.
Mm-hmm.
No further discussion.
Yeah, we got it.
So it's kind of up to us to interpret what that meant. Because there are a lot of types of dummies out there.
There's so many types of dummies. Tom, Can we address the elephant in the room here?
Sure.
At some point, you're going to try to call me a dummy.
What? I would never.
You're going to be like, oh, yeah, and so, of course, the biggest dummy of all.
Yeah, you.
Yeah.
But that had.
And I don't want to be owned like that in public.
That literally hasn't even occurred to me. Tim, I've no desire to own you in public.
Okay. Well, I think we should start with the biggest dummy of all, you, Tom.
Well, that just hurts, Tim. No, how did you interpret Dummies?
Well, you know...
What did you do research about?
Oh, yes, all my vast research. Well, naturally, Tom, you hear Dummies. Yeah. Thinking ventriloquist dummies? You're thinking Charlie McCarthy or Lester?
Well...
Or Jeff Dunham's...
Tim.
What?
It's a good thing you're already married. You're throwing out names of ventriloquist dummies like that's a normal thing to know, and people know who these dummies are.
Can I tell you something, Tom? Those are dummies that I owned as a child.
Oh my God!
Yeah, replicas of the real famous.
Yeah, I forgot that it was Charlie McCarthy that you owned because when I was looking up, of course, dummy information, I was looking at him and I was like, oh yeah, that dummy. That's a famous dummy.
Yeah, he lived in my home, Tom.
Now,
the replica.
This is a dummy you might have seen. He's got like a monocle and he's wearing like a tuxedo, right?
And like a top hat.
Yeah, like a top hat. Yeah. And he's got one of those like ventriloquist dummy mouths.
Yeah. How do you feel about ventriloquist? I know you're a big Jeff Dunham guy, but what about the other guys?
What other guys? Who else is out there? Name another big ventriloquist.
Oh yeah, you know.
That's really a shame, isn't it?
No, because the dummies are the star of the show.
Well, I'm not gonna ask you to name more dummies. Tim, who's on your list of rising talent dummies?
Tom? I think ventriloquists are unfairly maligned in society.
Wow,
it's cool.
This is your hill you're gonna stand on. It's cool.
I mean, it might not be cool. No, it's cool. Tom, what's the temperature outside? 22 degrees.
25 I have, but
I got 22.
Okay, cold. Fahrenheit.
9/11. Right, Michael Moore.
Or 451. Yeah,
I'm not familiar with that.
I did see that movie, Fahrenheit 9/11.
It's as relevant today as it was ever.
I mean, it might be. I don't know. I haven't seen it recently.
Yeah. We're all mad at George Bush right now.
I mean, I still am.
Yeah, me and you are the two guys left that are still like, hey, this guy stinks.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's 22 degrees outside. If somebody was like, hey, there's a ventriloquist on the corner, he's going to be there for another 10 minutes, you'd be like, I'm getting my shoes on.
At 10 o'clock at night?
Yeah.
No.
What?
No. There is a ventriloquist on the corner. Come on out and see. He's only going to be there for 10 minutes. Tim, nobody'd ever see me again.
What do you mean? I'd go with you.
No, I mean, that sounds like a trap where somebody's going to take me and sell my organs.
But what if it's really, you looked out the window, yeah, sure as shit, there's a ventriloquist, and there's a small crowd gathering.
No, that would be so terrifying. If there was just a ventriloquist performing on the corner 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, but you'd be like, let's see what skills he has. Let's see if I can see his mouth move.
I'd look out the window.
Tom,
I don't want to get involved. I don't want to know a ventriloquist too much.
All right, let me tell you this.
Uh-huh.
What if I were to tell you,
or a dummy,
hey, there's an open mic night.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go do 10 minutes of stand-up, right?
Yeah.
You'd be like, I'd like you to come, right?
Uh-huh.
You'd be like, I was like, I'm going to do 10 minutes of a ventriloquist act. You'd be like,
yeah,
this I'd
be way more excited for that. Yeah, especially if you were like, I've been working on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Because if you were like, I have a stand-up act I've been working on, I'd be supportive.
Yeah, standard shit about like how smelling food makes you barf or something.
You guys ever smell food too close?
You know how we all feel that smelling food close up is gross.
Yeah, your stand-up act would just be like a bunch of things nobody relates to.
Hey,
Don't you hate when people eat popcorn in a movie theater?
No, people
what
do
the
hate
hell?
that. People
this is
do
not
hate
the
that.
place for that.
People do hate that.
I would be scared to go out there. For that, but we're talking about you now. Yeah, I'd be excited to see.
Yeah.
You know what? And I would if you told me like I'm doing like a 10-minute stand up, I would be supportive. I would go. I'd be interested in seeing it. But I would also be kind of like, oh boy, I hope it's not like bad. I hope I'm not like cringing the whole time. And then I have to like lie to Tim and be like, oh, it's good. Oh man, I was laughing so much. But if you were doing a ventriloquist dummy act and you told me you had worked on it, I'd be like, I'm not worried. I think Tim, if he's got the confidence to do this, I believe in him.
And it's going to be good.
I think it's going to be good. Yeah.
There's going to be good patter.
Yeah.
Would you be like, oh no, I'm getting replaced next week? He's going to start doing the podcast with this dummy. What if you showed up to this thing and I had a dummy of you?
Showed up at this thing. We record in my apartment.
No, at my 10-minute ventriloquist thing.
Oh, and it was me as a dummy?
My performance. And I just taken like transcripts of this podcast and was acting about it. It's like, what do you think, Dub? Oh, I don't know.
I mean, I'd have to tip my hat to that. If you had managed to trick me into coming out to an open mic night where you did a ventriloquism bit with a dummy that looks like me.
And sounds like you.
Yeah. Me, would it be lifelike? Would it like be uncanny kind of how much it looks like me? Or would it be like a cartoonish kind of exaggerated?
Exaggerated,
okay.
Yeah. I always prefer like the more puppety
puppet
dummies than like the carved out of wood or plastic where their mouths just go right?
We know you're a big Jeff Dunham guy. You like what he brought to the form. He made them more Muppet like.
Yeah, I like the stereotypes, problematic characters.
Yeah, he had like a terrorist guy, right?
Yeah, but he was dead, so everybody could cheer.
Oh yeah. I wonder, like, if Jeff Dunham, like, has he adapted that? Because, like, terrorist isn't like and now it's just like, oh, it's like a liberal.
Yeah, it's like a woke guy or something.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's a college professor.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty funny, a college professor ventriloquist dummy.
All right.
I'm back on board.
I'll spend $75 to go see this.
Yeah, so I did, Tim. That's one of the many dummies I'd like to discuss tonight.
Right.
But I did do some research about ventriloquist dummies.
Okay.
Did you know that ventriloquism dates back to ancient times when it was considered a spiritual practice? In ancient Egypt, ventriloquists were thought to be mediums who could communicate with the dead, and the term ventriloquism literally means belly speaking in Latin. Oh, that makes sense, belly speaking, because that's kind of what they're doing.
What? They're just not moving their mouth. I think there's too much.
It's a shame that people can't see at home that our mouths have not moved this entire episode. It's insane.
Yeah, it's freaking everybody out.
Yeah. If you saw a video of this episode, it would just look like two men staring at each other for an hour.
The other thing, Tom, that I think annoys me about people are always, laser focused on a ventriloquist's mouth. It's like, I better not see that thing move. It's like, all right, why don't you enjoy the show?
Another thing.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's always trying to catch.
What do you mean, everybody? Are you hanging out in the lobby of ventriloquist shows?
They're trying to catch the ventriloquist. They're like, I see. That guy wasn't really talking. That was really you. Yeah, no shit. Pay attention to the patter.
Tim's eavesdropping during intermission in the bathroom. I better not see those lips move. I would say that that's the kind of thing that is on a ventriloquist, that it's up to them to, it's kind of like a magician, to misdirect attention to the dummy.
Yeah. Look.
Which I will say, like, well, I guess other people have done this, but like, to Jeff Dunham's credit, I think his dummies have like arms too. Like, they are more Muppet-like.
Okay.
And some ventriloquist dummies have that. But I think that helps with, like,
sure. But, like, that's
distracting.
I'm not talking about bells and whistles. I'm talking about engaging content.
Yeah.
Engaging routine.
I mean, the thing is, though, Tim, if I see those lips moving, what's the point?
Well, you know how when I never saw Avenue Q.
Yeah.
But like when you see like when there's like shows like that, stage shows that have puppets, and then you like see a picture of them, and there's just like people on stage like dressed in black, like doing it, and you're like, well, how could that be fun? And then like people are like, within 5 minutes, like you forget that there are people there.
Yeah.
Like
that's what I'm saying. These are Broadway performers, so they're gonna do it.
Yeah, just embrace it. Go look, everybody, go out, see a ventriloquist, keep an open mind. Just try to enjoy yourself. Stop trying to play gotcha with ventriloquists all the time.
Now, Avenue Q, are you saying that in Avenue Q they're not ventriloquists?
No, they're just puppeteers.
And now you don't look down on that. You think that's okay?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to say that it is a different thing with like Muppets and puppets, because like Muppets, nobody had to do throw their voice with a Muppet because the performer was hidden.
Right.
But then you lose that back and forth patter. Do you think?
Well, the Muppets talk to each other.
Yeah, but do you think we missed out on not having like a lot of conversations between Jim Henson and Kermit the Frog at the same time?
I mean, they're pretty much the same guy.
Yeah, it might be interesting to see then. A look into the mirror.
Well, there was an episode of Arsenio Hall, Tom, where Jim Henson was sitting out there with Kermit, but he wasn't
doing Kermit.
He was, but like the camera was just on Kermit when he was doing Kermit, and then on him when he was talking normally.
So where was Kermit? Was Kermit on the other chair?
No,
Kermit was in his lap.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, but they only did close-ups?
You didn't watch every episode of the Arsenio Hall show, Tom?
No, I mean I watched the Arsenio Hall show quite a bit. So when I was a kid, so I may have seen it, but I don't remember this particular incident. I may have to look it up later in the Library of Congress.
Yeah. Head over to the Museum of Television and Radio when we're done here.
Okay. They're open all night, right?
They should be. How else would you watch late night fare like the old Johnny Carson show?
What else do I know about Dummies? Oh, about ventriloquist dummies, at least. Okay, I think I have two other interesting facts. There aren't that many interesting facts about dummies that I could find.
What are you talking about ventriloquist dummies?
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, give me one then.
It's a magical art form.
Tim, did you know that during World War II, Hitler banned ventriloquism in Nazi Germany?
Why?
He feared it could be used to mock him or spread subversive ideas. Ventriloquists were arrested in Nazi Germany for their acts.
Wow.
Yeah. I'd like to see that. You know, the world's seen so many World War II movies. Where's the one about the ventriloquist that is hiding behind enemy lines? He's got a little ventriloquist mannequin of Hitler with him. Like, I don't know if we should be doing this.
I would watch that movie.
Yeah, it'd be a fun movie.
Yeah. Hey, Hitler, bad guy.
Yeah. But
this was,
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, exactly. On the list of like evil things Hitler did, banning ventriloquists.
Well, I mean, arresting them and sending them, like, that is
that's true. I mean, I don't.
It's not like
how many ventriloquists? When he put out the order, no more ventriloquism.
He had one guy in mind. He was after one guy.
Yeah,
and he was like, all right, this guy is rubbing me the wrong way. Add him to the list.
How many?
Was he a ventriloquist? Yeah, all the ventriloquist was weird, right? Yeah, Adam.
Wait,
that was Hitler.
That was Hitler.
Yeah.
Just justifying his decision.
Yeah.
I was going to say, when this order went out, how many ventriloquists you think were really like, well, no, I have no choice, I must continue, versus how many were like, you know what? I've actually been sick and tired of the shit this dummy's been saying to me.
Right.
And then they ratted.
They
ratted out their dummies.
You don't like the dynamic that all they rounded up the dummies.
Yeah.
You don't like
He's
that?
in there.
Well, every dummy. Do you like this dynamic that every dummy is like a little stinker? I feel like that's right up your alley. Like you should love ventriloquist dummies because they're always taking the piss.
No, I mean, look, Tim, I have to play devil's advocate here against you. But I of course I enjoy a good ventriloquist.
Yeah. Okay.
I had a Billy Baloney when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Ventriloquist dummy. That was like a phenomenal toy.
From Pee-wee's Playhouse.
From Pee-wee's Playhouse. It was not his ventriloquist dummy because it would come down from the ceiling.
Yeah.
But it was very obviously a ventriloquist dummy.
And like you could operate it at home like a ventriloquist dummy.
Yeah. And he acted like a ventriloquist dummy. You know, he'd insult Pee Wee Herman on his own show of all places.
That's what happens.
The other interesting fact that I have about ventriloquist dummies is that there's a dummy graveyard. It is in Kentucky, in Fort Mitchell, Kentucky. It is called Vent Haven Museum, and it is a retirement home for ventriloquist dummies. It's not. It's a museum. They build themselves not as the biggest, not as the best, but the only ventriloquism museum in the world.
Okay. Which maybe is a little surprising.
Yeah, that there's not one. Like, the French don't have like a little ventriloquist.
Why the French?
Because they like mimes. They like things like that.
Yeah.
They like Jerry Lewis. But I just feel like they would hold it up potentially. I mean, I feel like either the general French sentiment is that ventriloquist dummies are garbage and ventriloquists are garbage, or
that's the
it's held up as like an art.
I think
but apparently not. They don't even have a museum.
We're past due for a reassessment of ventriloquist's position in society.
We're past due for a ventriloquism revolution.
I feel like that ventriloquism, like, did friend of the show Christine go there, or did she just like?
Oh, to the ventriloquist museum.
That seems like up her alley, right? Like
yeah,
a bunch
but I
of,
feel like
a creepy place in Kentucky where a bunch of old retired.
Guess how many dummies they got there?
300.
900 dummies.
900 dummies.
Yeah.
And
they're all just lined up along on both sides of a narrow corridor. And you have to
slowly walk down.
Yeah, you have to walk sideways.
Yeah,
it's so narrow.
The only thing that you can say about ventriloquist dummies that might be negative is sometimes they come to life.
Yeah, which is a pretty huge negative.
Yeah,
but there is something to that. A lot of people get freaked out by them because it's a uncanny valley. You know, like people don't like that somebody can seemingly bring this thing to life, and they know it's not alive. Who
doesn't like this? Who are you speaking for now?
You, Tim, you can be objective enough to acknowledge that some people are freaked out by ventriloquist dummies.
Yeah.
As you're talking about, sometimes they come to life. That's a lot of people's biggest fear, that a ventriloquist dummy is going to come to life and get them. Happened in Goosebumps.
Yeah.
With Mr. Slappy. So I think it's a very reasonable fear to have. And I get it. And it's the uncanny valley. That's what's responsible for it, apparently.
Number one with a bullet. Ventriloquist dummies.
Ventriloquist dummies. I think that's, if you've got other ventriloquist dummy stuff to talk about, otherwise I can move on to other dummies.
Yeah, I'm curious how you interpreted dummies.
Was this all you looked up, just ventriloquist?
No, I got a list.
Oh, yeah, a list. You turned your phone around and showed me maybe 7 words on a screen. Well, you know what? I have on here ballistic dummies.
What are those?
Those are what they use for like testing like guns and bullets, like the idea or like other things.
When you like 3D print a gun, you want to know how effective it's going to be.
Yeah. So you get a 3D and it's like made out of like, I guess some kind of like gel, like ballistic gel that's supposed to simulate the like density of a human.
Right.
And then like some of the fancy ones have like fake bones inside, and it's clear, so you can see like, oh, there's a skeleton in there, and there's like organs in there.
So who does this? Freaks?
I mean, like law enforcement, they do it to like test theories,
Oh, yeah.
I guess.
Okay, that makes sense.
Like, okay, we think this is what happened. Let's recreate that in a lab with a ballistics dummy and see if it's the same. But also, like, I mostly know about it from just like various YouTube videos where people are just like, I bought a ballistic dummy and I made a machine that's going to fire a golf ball 500 miles an hour at its head. And we're going to see what would happen if that were a person. It's fun content. But I imagine these things are probably like pretty expensive.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you're just going to smash it up with one thing.
Well,
they're not like reusable, right?
No, but like, it's like a human body. So like if you, I don't know, stab it with a knife, it's not like the whole thing's ruined.
Yeah, well, depends where you stab
Well,
it.
it depends on, yeah. But I mean, you could still like shoot the dummy, in the head or something and be like, oh, that's what that would do. Ballistic dummies. I imagine they're expensive to ship too, because they must weigh about as much as like a
and what are you
human
doing
torso.
when you watch these videos?
What do you mean? What am I
Are there other people around?
No, there's not other people around. Tim, I'll watch them by myself. Next dummy.
That question stands.
Next dummy I have on the list, and here's where we get into like, all right, we're in a subcategory of dummies, but this category is going to have two subcategories itself, and that's crash test dummies.
Okay. Now we're talking.
Because that refers to two different things.
Or now are we singing in a sultry baritone?
In a very deep baritone. He had 3 testicles, Tim.
the lead singer of the Crash Test Dummies, the Canadian rock band.
That was always the rumor.
Ooh.
Well, and it's like people can have low voices. It doesn't require medical abnormality.
Yeah.
But he did have a pretty deep voice.
He did. And they kind of had like a single that was taken as a novelty single here in the U.S., but they were a serious band.
Are they not from the U.S.?
Canadian.
Oh. Are they bigger in Canada? Like,
they had a big hit in Canada off their first album.
Oh, okay. And this was their second album?
I believe so.
That premiered on?
Yes.
What a good music video, though. That was
children's play.
Acting
out the lyrics of the song.
Yeah. I feel like that was a big reason why I'm so familiar with that song. Was that video was just in like constant rotation on MTV, and then a little later VH1 even.
Yeah, I think it launched on VH1 pretty much the same time.
Maybe
because they're like an adult contemporary band.
Yeah,
my brother owned the album. God Shuffled His Feet.
Yeah, it's a pretty good like title for an album too. Any other bangers on there that you remember?
I only remember the title track, which was also the first track on the album.
Yeah.
And I didn't really like it. Their big hit, Tom, in Canada in 91, you might like this, Superman's song.
Superman's song. Dan, da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. People, the Canadians couldn't believe it. They'd never heard such a low Superman song, such a bassy version of Superman song. Huh? I'll have to look into that, Tim.
Yeah. The
Crash Test Dummies.
The Crash Test Dummies. And he had long hair, too.
He had long hair, too. And Weird Al did a good parody of...
Yeah, which wasn't even on an album. It was on his box set.
Oh, yeah. Because he did a video for it, like a funny video. That
called
was
Headline News.
Yeah.
And he covered John Bobbitt.
Yeah, Lorena Bobbitt, yeah.
He covered the Nancy Kerrigan, Tanya Harding thing. And then what was the third thing?
Was it Clinton and Monica Lewinsky?
Was it? That seems below
Weird Al's standards. Yeah, he usually doesn't delve into sexual material. But it was something along those lines, I want to say.
Yeah, it wasn't OJ, right?
I don't think so. I think you like to keep it light.
Yeah.
Weird Al with these things, which I have. We'll see if we get to it. I have something else to say about keeping it light.
Oh man.
What?
This is gonna be a blast from the past. Does the name Michael Fay
Yeah. What? Who was that?
played big on the late night shows and SNL?
Oh, who got caned in Singapore?
He got caned in Singapore.
Yeah, for graffiti.
vandalizing. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was a huge deal because everybody was like, "What? They're gonna cane? They're gonna give capital punishment to an American citizen?" But then some other people in America were like, "Yeah, we should do that here."
It's very funny that hit. It's the tabloid stories of 1993 and 1994. So it's like when we're like 12 years old.
Yeah.
Like it seemed like those three stories were like the biggest stories of the year.
Well, I mean, Weird Al's older than us, and he felt that way too.
He's always playing to the 12-year-olds.
Yeah.
He knew. He's like,
no, I think it was.
who's my audience gonna know about? The guy that got caned.
Yeah.
The guy that got his wiener chopped off, and then the figure skaters.
No, but I mean, those were all fucking huge stories.
Yeah.
Those were all things that like got TV movies made about them and everything. Like they were inescapable. Everybody knew those stories.
Yeah.
There were other crash test dummies, Tim, actual crash test dummies that they used to test crashes.
Oh, yes.
And then there were famously two anthropomorphic crash test dummies named Vince and Larry.
Who were in commercials.
They were in commercials.
Were they anti-drunk driving commercials?
No, their whole thing was just buckle up.
Oh, buckle up.
They were introduced in 1985 by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. And in 2010, their costumes were donated to the Smithsonian Natural Museum of American History. National, not natural. I'm like, they call it the Natural Museum? Yeah, in their transportation safety exhibit. Ooh, sounds great. I'll have to go there. They better hope Ventriloquist Dummy Museum doesn't open next door. Take all their business.
Those guys were nice.
Those guys were nice, Tim. They were fun because it was just two guys and they would get into a crash. They would be at a test site usually. And they'd like go flying through the windows and they'd be like, "Oh, we're all right, but that's because we're dummies. You'd be dead."
Yeah.
Buckle up.
You don't see a lot of crash test dummy footage these days.
No,
you used to see it all the time.
I mean, this, I guess, was because in the mid 80s were when like seatbelt laws were becoming more and more common. And in the mid 80s, it was still a thing that some people were like, if I put that on, I'd get stuck in the car during a crash. So thanks, but no thanks.
Do you know anybody who doesn't wear a seatbelt because they're like, it's uncomfortable?
I know somebody that used to, like a long time ago, a family member that had like a hot rod that he didn't wear a seatbelt in because he claimed that if it got in an accident, it'd be better if you were thrown clear of the wreckage. Clearly not understanding. Like, yeah, if you get thrown into a mattress factory or something. But no, in most cases, that's going to result in you being alive for half a second longer.
Right.
Worst case, best case scenario. Or I don't know, best or worse, but it might save your life.
It's just so silly to me. People are like, oh, it's so uncomfortable. Grow up.
Yeah. I like to pretend it's like a gun holster.
Yeah, like
Chewbacca
I'm a cop, has.
Or like I'm a private eye.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never had if you're like getting up and like trying to turn maybe. But if you're sitting normally, a seatbelt is fine.
Yeah. Everybody calm down.
Yeah.
Put on a fucking seatbelt.
Well, I learned about this recently, and it might not be true, and it might be because I'm misremembering it, but that like some cars, like you buy like a high-end sports car or whatever, it's got a 5-point harness, like a racing harness.
Yeah.
That like those are like even better, but it's just like people wouldn't wear those. It's like I'd wear those.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
It'd look like I'm in a racing car.
I've always wanted to be in a racing car.
Guess how much a crash test dummy cost him?
Ooh, well, it has like sensors in it and stuff. Right?
Guess like the range.
I'm gonna say
Cheapest to most expensive.
between $3,000
Mm-hmm.
and $95,000.
Between $50,000 and $500,000.
Okay. That's, you know what? I didn't want to make you look like a fool by going over.
Yeah. Well,
I
I
was gonna
appreciate
say
it. Thank you
50
very
to
much.
500,000.
I assume that's like, like a dummy that's qualified for like official tests or whatever. Because you can get a dummy cheaper than that, but it might not tell you much.
Speaking of Tom, the number one dummy on my list.
Are you just going to say me again?
Tom Reynolds. No, this is one that we can all get behind. The dummy that Macaulay Culkin threw off the overpass in The Good Son.
Why can we all get behind that?
Because that was probably the most famous dummy.
What do you mean the most? I don't even remember him throwing a dummy off and over.
What?
Oh, I thought you meant a ventriloquist dummy.
No, he had a big life-size
explain
dummy.
the scene for people that maybe haven't seen The Good Son recently.
Well, you don't do a rewatch every year?
Starring Macaulay Culkin and Elijah Wood.
Yeah. Macaulay Culkin was a bad kid in this movie.
Yeah, he was trying to
was
shake
not the good
off
son,
the Kevin McAllister thing. When Kevin McAllister was kind of a bad kid too.
Yeah, people don't he was a little shit.
Yeah, I mean he tried to kill those two guys repeatedly.
They deserved it. They
yeah, but even
stand your
still,
ground.
for like a kid to feel that way, to have that kind of anger at such a young age.
That's true. And he was gleeful about it too. You guys give up or you're thirsty for more.
Yeah, at no point was he shocked by the proceedings.
And he wasn't just go away and this will all stop. I'm scared.
Yeah.
I have to hit you with these paint cans. Elijah Wood, I think is Macaulay Culkin's cousin in it.
Yeah.
Staying at his house because his mom passed away. I don't know, whatever.
I think something like that. That it's like he's got nowhere else to go.
Yeah. Macaulay Culkin showing him the ropes of the bad kid shit that he does. And they go to an overpass. He's like, I got this dummy. It's like a life-sized dummy
like a
of a
mannequin
person.
kind of, yeah.
And he throws it off the overpass onto the road below, causes a big pileup of cars.
Yeah, because people think it's a person, so they try not to hit it.
And like the little piece of shit he is.
Yeah, well, that's why I don't want to spoil the end, but
yeah,
he got done.
Well, let's spoil the end because the end of that movie
is
literally two little boys hanging off a cliff.
Yeah.
And a lady holding onto both of them.
Elijah Wood's mom.
No, it's Macaulay Culkin's mom.
Oh, is it? I thought you said she was dead.
No,
Elijah Wood
Wood's
had to go with
him.
Oh, I misunderstood this movie.
Yeah. And so it's Macaulay Culkin's mom, and she realizes that Macaulay Culkin's bad at this point. Oh,
because he's
Macaulay
doing
Culkin drowned his little sister.
Oh, yeah. It was and she's already
fucked up.
Yeah, she had found that out by then, I think, and knew
and she
no,
realized
he's bad.
Okay, I gotta let go of one of them.
Yeah.
But just the so I don't know, ridiculous notion of okay, the mother has to make a choice. How do we do it? We'll hang both boys off a cliff, and she can only hold on to one.
Yeah, we'll show her trying to lift them both, but she can't. And
she
their
literally
grip
has to make
slipping.
it. But literally, hanging off a cliff.
Yeah. I mean, I remember seeing that movie in the theaters as a 13-year-old and thinking wow, how'd
they come up with this?
How did they get to this point so naturally?
I wasn't allowed to see it in the theater, so I had to buy the book from the Scholastic Book Fair.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, it was rated R, I remember. Yeah, I forget how. I might have like maybe snuck in or something like that. Or maybe
I heard
they
a story
didn't
about
care.
that film.
Or
That,
maybe the people selling tickets were like, yeah, it's got Macaulay Culkin in it. Of
I mean,
course you
that
can
was
buy a
my
ticket.
that was my argument for my parents.
Yeah, if he knows what's in it, if he's okay, and he has great parents, then yeah, why shouldn't you be allowed?
I remember seeing the trailer for Home Alone
Mm-hmm.
and like being like, "This movie's gonna fucking rule."
Yeah.
And I was explaining the trailer to my dad, and I was 19. I was like 8
and
years
then
old.
and then
Yeah, and I was like, "I gotta see this movie." And he's like, "I don't know, what you described sounded like it could be a little scary." And I was like,
Uh-huh.
"Dad, if it was scary, would they cast a kid in it? Like the
Yeah.
kid was there, and he's not scared."
Yeah.
And that was my logic, the same logic of you that I've. And then I was like, this is not gonna be
And
compelling.
then Home Alone scared you so bad you had to sleep in your parents' bed for
Yeah,
the
I
next
remember
year.
like in the moment being like, and the kid in that movie, 3 years old.
3 years old.
Because I wanted to really
Oh, you were
exaggerate.
really
'Cause
trying to sell it.
My dad didn't see the trailer.
Yeah.
Only I did. And it's like, if a 3-year-old could be in the movie, an 8-year-old can watch the movie.
It's just math. It just
It's
makes
just
sense.
math. But Macaulay Culkin's dad told the studio, we're not going to do Home Alone 2 unless Macaulay Culkin gets to be the lead in The Good Son.
Oh.
And they had to put The Good Son like on hold.
Why
for
were
schedule.
why were they so like hell bent on it, on him being in it?
Who?
What'd you
His
say?
dad, Macaulay Culkin's
Yeah,
dad.
yeah.
I think he wanted to be
Just
like,
money.
all right, this is like a serious role. Like we're gonna shake
it's gonna
up,
like
yeah,
expand
yeah.
his career. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. That he had like
Should have just played cute kid roles because, like, this is what the stage parents never realize. As soon as you hit puberty, you're not cute anymore. You're not like, oh, look
Yeah.
at this little scamp. It's like, oh, this is just a freaking weird kid now.
yeah. I mean, the number of kids that like made it through puberty, because I feel like it can like
You got to go away from puberty and come back as a man.
yeah, but I feel like sometimes people are able to like hang on to it and like I don't know, maybe their parents like help them out with like hormone stuff to like, all right, we're gonna like blast you through a year's worth of puberty during hiatus for this season so that like next season you're not an awkward 13-year-old, you're a man with a
Right,
beard.
exactly.
Is because I feel like some people have done that, like they've gone through puberty quickly and it's like, oh shit, that's that guy, and it's like, yeah, and he's still doing stuff, but that's extremely rare. Most of the time it's like,
You just shouldn't write roles for 13-year-olds.
yeah, I'm trying to remember, there was a show, yeah, I don't want to like put anybody on
Child on notice.
yeah, put like a kid on blast, but there was a show that I watched that the kid was going through puberty, and like his voice, it was cracking so much that I was like, oh, this is like a little stupid,
It's like a Brady Bunch episode.
yeah,
where
like
Peter's
this is a
voice
little
was-
over the
yeah.
top. But then I realized like, oh no, that is his voice, and like now this kid
Now
is
I need to know.
now this kid's like trans, he's his character's evolving a bit, and like I don't know, I don't envy him, but like that sucks.
Is that one of your superhero programs?
I can neither confirm nor deny. Tim, let's talk about some final dummies.
Okay. Let's not forget you.
I want to talk about famous TV and movie dummies.
Ooh.
First on my list, Joey Tribbiani.
Oh, like dummies, like
Dummies, just like a classic dummy.
that. Joey from Friends.
Yeah, Joey from Friends.
Yeah, he's dumb.
Classic dummy.
Okay.
Maybe this will give you more clues about where I'm going with all this. The next one I have, Woody Boyd.
Hey, that was gonna be my next one
Yeah.
too. Yeah. Okay.
Two classic dummies.
I mean, Woody's more of a hayseed. Is a hayseed
Yeah,
a
but-
subset of a dummy though?
I feel like it's like a regional dummy.
Yeah.
Because like a hayseed, the idea is you're from the country and you don't know anything because
You're a dummy.
because you're a dummy, because you're from the country. Maybe you just haven't been I guess it's not specific of like, oh, you haven't been exposed to things from, maybe it is a little more that way when calls somebody a hayseed.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're from the city and you don't know things.
You're from the country, you don't know.
Or the country, but not necessarily that you're a dummy.
Yeah.
Like that is making you a dummy in this moment.
Dummy isn't, dummy's just an agnostic term, right? If you're dumb, you're a dummy. And Woody Boyd was dumb. Who cares why he was dumb? He was dumb in the ways that made him, ill-suited for city life.
But I feel like, to me, like a dummy is something that there's like kind of something lovable about him.
Yeah.
It's like a dummy, like an idiot is like screwing things up. But a dummy might just be somebody who's just kind of simple.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
They don't mean any harm by their stupidity.
Yeah. Would you put Coach in the same Coach from Cheers in the same bucket then?
Yeah, I'd say he's a dummy as well.
Yeah. Seems disrespectful though. He's our elder.
He's deceased now.
No, I don't think so.
He didn't. He's not actually on vacation or whatever it was that they used to explain. Then the next, I only have a couple of these.
Okay.
I have Brad Pitt in Burn After Reading.
Yeah, that's a good dummy.
That's a good dummy. Plays just like a very dumb dummy. And then one of my favorite acting dummies. This isn't a character, but a guy who's good at playing dummies. John C. Reilly.
He is good at playing dummies.
Yeah.
Talking about lovable.
Yeah, because playing a dummy, especially a lovable dummy, harder than it looks. Look around in the real world how many lovable dummies there are.
Hey, we salute our dummy actors out there. Any female actors that you want to call out for being dummies?
No, I only have
question. Yeah.
I feel like being a dummy is a pretty male thing. Like uniquely male being a dummy.
You get dinged for that, Tom.
By who?
You know.
Right. You want to solve a problem?
Yeah. Hello and welcome to Tim and Tom Solve Your Problems. I'm Tim.
I'm Tom.
And we're going to solve a problem. If you have a problem you'd like us to solve, email us at thecompleteguidetoeverything@gmail.com.
Or
always got to one-up me, Tom.
Go to speakpipe.com/guide and you can leave us a voicemail.
Speakpipe.com.
Speakpipe.com/guide. And there's a button there. You can go on your computer or your phone and you can just record a message that way. And maybe it'll get played on the show. Hey, no phony phone calls, all right? No crank calls.
Yeah, if you crank call us, we will track you down. We'll have you arrested.
I mean, it's not even a call. Like, nothing rings anywhere. It just goes in a thing. Anyway.
Should we give out our phone numbers on this, though?
No. This person didn't say if I can use their name or not. But I mean, come up with a name. But if somebody's listening to this and they know this person, there's no way they would be like, oh, I guess it couldn't be her. They have a different name. Anyway.
Wait, is it a lady?
A lady name, yeah.
Ginger.
That's my dog's name.
Yeah,
come up with that's going to be confusing.
Well, that was the thing. If you would ask for a man's name, I was gonna say Tom.
But why would I ask for a man's name? I'm reading an email from a woman.
Yeah, I know. But before I knew that it was from a woman.
I see. You had to adapt your joke. I'm going to call her Leslie. Dear Tim and Tom, I'm turning to you with this problem because every time I try and think about my brain, I'm going to skip this. Oh, apologies, Tim. It gets a little racy.
No, I don't want to hear this.
And I know you like to have your smelling salts at hand.
I don't like smelling salts either.
About 6 months ago, I went to the wedding of a distant aunt. We don't see that side of the family that much as they're older and much wealthier than us. No hard feelings, though. In the morning of the wedding, there was a minor crisis. One of the adult bridesmaids wasn't able to make it. I was approached by the wedding planner and offered a field position to bridesmaid as I was family and could fit into the dress. I accepted, though it involved...
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
What do you mean? What am I talking about? Or what is she talking about?
You read this like a normal person?
I'm like, because it's so long.
I know, but you're like skimming it.
I accepted. My aunt was happy with it. I enjoyed the new place in the bridal party, though it involved more standing around for photos and having an intense woman and angrily redoing my makeup at short notice. Had a lovely time, danced, got tipsy, and celebrated. Even met the woman I subbed for at the reception and got gifted the dress as a thank you, even though it cost more than my monthly rent. So far, no drama. See, this is what I'm saying, Tim. A lot of details. One of the gifts the happy couple received was a promise from their friend Wilbur of a painting of their wedding. Now, this is not the man that owns Mr. Ed, as far as I understand.
You don't know that.
Yeah, you're right. 6 months later, he's a 120-year-old man. He used to be an actor. 6 months later, against all expectations, Wilbur is provided. It's a big painting in a classical style, and there I am, one or two people away from the couple. By classical, Wilbur went classical Greek with allusion to mythology. That is apparently why I've been painted naked.
Okay, so just to recap.
Yeah.
This woman, Leslie, at the last minute became a bridesmaid.
Yes.
And then this guy, Wilbur, his gift was, I'm going to paint a picture of your wedding.
Yes.
He did it in a classical style and painted Leslie naked into the picture.
Yes.
Okay.
So she says the whole supporting bridal party are nymphs and satyrs. By my opposite groomsman, however, has foliage over his wedding tackle. But aside from having someone blocking my bikini bottom area, I am proudly topless and exposed from all points north of my belly button.
We got to see this picture.
I was going to email her back. We need to see this
creep.
picture. Yeah, but it sounds like a creep. I was going to say you could censor yourself if you'd like, but I need an idea here.
Tom, this is such a long email. I'm looking at it now.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Wilbur clearly spent more time on me. It's obviously my face being smiley for my aunt, but he has generously given me a boob job too. I'm a modest B cup, but this is not reflected in the painting. I'm not one to body shame, and all bodies and breasts are beautiful, but Wilbur gave me a big honking pair of tits.
Okay.
Almost cartoonish, like those from seaside postcards in the 50s. My friend told me that they're what the internet calls big mommy milkers.
Right.
And they look especially bizarre considering I'm pretty skinny. They're topped off by some very pointy and very pink nipples. My friend is of the opinion that Wilbur started from my tits and worked out, and that they follow you around the room. I'm going to skip a bunch, but her question is basically, what does she do? Her aunt shared a photo of the painting with the bridal party, but a big unveiling is planned both on social media and a post-wedding party. My mother thinks it's rude to ask to have it changed, but my dad wants nothing to do with it. My brother thinks it's hilarious. Still, it feels kind of creepy, especially when I notice that the painting includes hints of the tattoo on my thigh. It would have been hidden at the wedding, but it's visible in holiday photos on my socials. Wilbur has been doing his research. Ew. Yeah, and then it goes on. She basically just gives evidence to prove that, like, no, it's me. It's 100% me, and I'm topless in it.
Right.
What should she do?
Nothing. This is cool. Right?
Yeah?
If somebody was like, I'm going to paint a picture and you're going to be in it and you're going to be
You're gonna have
nude and like...
have a huge pair of knockers.
And like, exactly. And like comically like, whatever, attractive or whatever. It's
Yeah.
like, all right.
I mean,
That's funny.
That's kind of the thing. I feel like it's weird that it's, a nude painting of you.
Yeah, also Wilbur should go to jail.
Yeah.
But also the painting should stand and everybody should be like, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's like two separate issues almost here. One is like kind of, what do I do about the fact that this like weird creep I don't know did this?
Yeah, and somebody like, your dad and your brother should go
beat
the
hell
shit
out of
out of Wilbur. And
why,
maybe
why
like,
shouldn't
kill
Leslie
him.
do it?
Hmm?
Why shouldn't Leslie do it? Why can't a woman stand up for herself?
Big knockers will get in the way.
No, but she said she doesn't have big knockers. I feel like it would be weirder if, I don't know. Is it weirder for her to have been like
It's
painted
weird that
realistically?
that this is a wedding gift.
I guess
at
that's
all.
why you don't
Like,
do that.
If there was somebody like, I think from the like, oh, I'm going to paint a picture of your bridal party as a gift. It's like,
yeah, just write a check,
don't do
asshole.
that. Yeah, it's fine. Like, nobody wants this.
Yeah.
The fact that he painted some of them nude.
No, not some of them, just her.
No, you
She's
skipped
the
over
only
some
one with
part.
their tits out, she said.
Okay, stop saying you're
God.
not allowed to say
You're
these words.
right. She does. You do need smelling salts. This is too racy for you.
Anyway, so what should I do? Ignore it and be a naked Where's Waldo in someone's wedding present? Make a fuss and get a correction painted by Wilbur, or try to sneak into the house in the dead of night to Sharpie a sports bra on?
Yeah, I feel like this is like a situation Mr. Bean's been in one time or something. where to the idea of like going in there to Sharpie it.
Yeah.
I mean, a funny thing.
The not funny thing is if like this actually makes you uncomfortable.
Yeah, it doesn't. It sounds like it makes her a little uncomfortable, but not like, I don't know. It sounds like she's
It's
basically
funny.
like Wilbur's
It's funny.
easy
This is
enough
the
to
best
avoid.
story you'll ever have. Like, keep a picture of this in your phone, right? And
Yeah. I mean, I was going to ask, do you think it would be creepier to draw her realistically nude or to
Yes.
give her big, as she put it, big honking boobs?
Right. It'd be creepier the more realistic it was.
Yeah.
The fact that it's cartoonish is just kind of like, all right. So this guy's just a weirdo.
Yeah, but then I'm thinking of like, when you see like drawings of like Marge Simpson with big boobs and you're just like, oh, what a creep. Like, what creep did this? I feel like the
tattoo is the most egregious part. That like he was like, I'm gonna have to see more of this woman so I can paint her nude. Oh, she's got a tattoo. Gotta include that for verisimilitude. Even though,
what a big word, Tim.
I don't know that I used it correctly.
But I guess there is just like, there's such a history of like characters, people being like overly sexualized by drawing them with huge tits.
Right.
That like, it does feel.
Say that word over and over again.
Tits, knockers, boobies. Yeah. I mean, it's up to her. If she's not that annoyed about it, like if
it's hilarious. It's very funny.
Well, I was gonna say,
if she's not upset by it, like I think I would
play into it.
No.
Get a boob job.
Yeah, stop.
Get a matching boob job.
Keep this story as the best like icebreaker thing, like new job, and you're going around and be like,
"Damn, this is all the new job." He wants to see a
no,
painting
not
of
show
me
the picture,
naked?
but I was once a bridesmaid at a wedding.
No, because then you tell that story and people want to see the picture, and then you get fired for showing that picture.
You don't get fired for showing that picture these days.
Yeah,
we live in a sex-positive society, Tom.
Yeah, I show people I work with naked paintings of me all the time.
But as far as Wilbur is concerned, he needs the fear of God put into him.
Yeah.
And you should destroy the original painting. Obviously, that goes without saying, right?
What do you mean destroy the original? You're saying she should have play into it. It's funny, but
you take the picture, and so you can laugh about it with your friends. But you don't give a shit about like you don't want this hanging up for other people to see.
Yeah.
Go to the unveiling and spill a cherry's jubilee on it. Goes up in flames.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you can kind of coordinate some kind of comical pratfall where you like go through the canvas?
No, just fucking throw Wilbur through the canvas, right?
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, yeah.
Well, she can't be the
person that destroys it?
Yeah, and she can't be the fool. She can't be like, "Hey, it's the nude lady from the picture." Whoa! Now I'm doing a pratfall.
She's just gonna get drawn with even bigger boobs the next time.
Yeah.
If you have a problem you'd like us to solve, like Tim said, you can email us thecompleteguidetoeverything@gmail.com or go to speakpipe.com/guide.
Do you think this was real?
Yeah. Why? You think somebody made that up, Tim?
Yeah, because it's a very entertaining story.
Yeah, but real things happen in life sometimes. Entertaining things happen in life. I want to see this painting. I am going to respond.
All right, Tom. Please don't send Tom the painting.
If you like the show, you can find out more at tcgt.com. You can find links to our subreddit.
Send the guy talking about how he spends hours watching videos of ballistic dummies.
Hey, can you send me a picture of that painting? Can you send a zoomed-in one, actually?
This isn't high res enough. I can't see.
You can check out our Patreon, patreon.com/complete guide. This week, where are we calling this show, Tim? Tabloid rags to riches, something like that.
Yeah.
We got some new magazines, some celebrity gossip magazines we're going to be going through. Should be fun.
Yeah, you're going to love it.
Well, and I got a copy of Maxim magazine.
That's
Tim.
not a celebrity rag, but I'll allow it. Tom,
I
reading Maxim magazine, you're asking ladies for nude paintings of themselves.
Yeah, I'm living my best life.
Jesus Christ.
Patreon.com/complete guide. You can get that episode and all the past episodes of our Patreon stuff on there. Tim, any parting thoughts about Dummies?
There were some other dummies that I wanted to mention.
Yeah.
The Portishead album, Dummy.
Oh, okay.
It's a good album, right?
Yeah.
The Quibi series, Dummy.
Oh, I watched the I think that was the only thing that I watched like a full episode of.
You're a big
Quibi.
Anna Kendrick guy.
Yeah, and I watched that one episode and I was like, no, I don't like this at all.
This quick bite was not satisfying.
Yeah.
It was not very filling.
Yeah. It was written by Dan Harmon's girlfriend or wife, and it's like kind of about them and Dan Harmon's sex doll.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of like, it's like, what?
I
This
don't
is
know about Dan Harmon.
the
more I hear about Dan Harmon, the less I want to know.
It's like, this show is for one person in particular to jack it to. I don't feel comfortable watching this quick bite.
Yeah, that was it.
Oh, okay. You forgot about the biggest dummy of them all.
Who?
That was a HeadGum podcast.